because of the way I kind of come off a little bit as attacking men. And I'm okay with that because I need that, because there were times that I didn't have empathy as well, right?
Yo,
When
you
the show
sound like a
first
fucking
started,
simp, man.
Yo, man, you gotta let the
That's
brother
cool.
This
finish,
is why
bro.
you're
That's
never
cool.
gonna have a girl. This is
Keep
why.
Hold
getting
up,
your dick
man.
sucking
Let
lips,
the brother
nigga.
finish. Can y'all let the brother
I mean,
finish, man?
I'm not about to go back and forth. I came up here to say what I said. You know, I'm solid like that. At the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think, let me see. I think there may be one more clip here. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And these are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. On the Block with Jen. I know some of us get excited about that, right? So let's talk about the On the Block with Jen. There's a few video clips that I want to play here. And the funny thing about this stream was about, I don't know, about 5 hours or so. I like On the Block with Jen because it's a push against the manosphere. The manosphere, for the most part, is a lot of echo chamber. Everyone repeating the same talking point. You know, everybody repeats the talking. People lack any level of creativity when they're talking about some of the issues that they have with with women, or with the zones that we're in right now, as the dating scenes right now. I'm not in the dating scene right now, but I'm paying attention to the conversations. I haven't been in the dating scene actively. I was maybe shortly in some few years back, but actively for the past 15 years, I haven't been in the dating scene. You know, thank you very much, John. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Help me share, like, and subscribe. So we got this video, and this is basically the rule is very simple. I'm going to say the rule right now, then I'll say it multiple times as we continue to play these clips, right? The rule is simple. A man that knows a woman does not argue with the woman. I don't care what context. I don't care if you want to call it a debate. I don't care if you want to say, oh, it's okay, it's not that deep, it's social media. Listen, you don't argue with the woman, okay? It's as simple as that. Now, you can do whatever you want as an adult, of course, right? Of course. But you're going to attract what you attract. And this is going to be consistent a lot of, almost 100% of the time it's going to be consistent. Now, there will be women that will say, oh, that's not necessarily true, because they're trying to rationalize things, because we ask them to rationalize, right? But that's always going to fall off that pedestal, because that's not the nature of human beings in general, right? This is going to happen 100% of the time.
Wait, get off me, nigga! Fuck wrong with you, nigga?
Come on, where my glasses?
Get off of me before I drop your goofy ass again. Now beat that, bitch ass nigga. Pay for this shit, hurry up.
No,
Pay for that shit and hurry up before I drop your ass again. Touch me, then I'm
Yo,
gonna drop
stop
you.
video before they
Quit
help
touching
me. You got my key.
Quit touching me.
help you.
No,
Let me help you.
Right, so she did a show on I think she said the pseudo something of the manosphere, basically breaking down the different parts of the manosphere. She talked about the pickup artists, the PUA. She talked about the MRA, the men's rights activism. She talked about the incels, the involuntary celibates. She talked about the other one. There's another fourth one I forgot right now. But I'm not too concerned about those things. I'm much more concerned about the behavior that you should look out for that will continue to attract this kind of reaction from women. Intentions are overrated, okay? You mean well. You went there you went there to explain more of what the manosphere is about. Good intention. I get it, right? But nonetheless, this is what's going to happen 100% of the time. So let me play the first video. The first video is our concerns is not to be desirable. This is basically a man arguing with women why our concerns is not to be desirable. But let's see how that flies, right?
Because what you were saying earlier is that a lot of these men are not desirable. And this is something that I want to say.
They're not.
Well, as men, our concern is not to be desirable.
Well, as
Our
men
concern, that might be your concerns as women. I don't know what your concerns are because I'm not one.
Right,
our
but
concerns
well,
are
that's-
to
but-
wait a moment. I'll let you go.
Now, even me as a man, this gentleman will have to prove to me that he's not already triggered. I mean, just hear the tone, right? We're human beings, okay? Oh yeah, he has empirical data, like Rollo Tomasi said, right? He has the facts. He's just about to spit the facts. But again, as a human being, even if you were on the receiving end of this as a man, right? Wouldn't you like, why are you yelling? Right? Okay, sometimes people are yelling on the internet and they don't realize it. But what about the tonality, right? Oh, no, don't ask me to speak the tonality. But again, you're right. You have the right to speak how you want to speak. However, the people that respond have the right to respond how they're going to respond. And you're going to create certain types of results from that. Let's watch the result it's creating.
I'm just saying, as men, to be better men, our concern should be to be better men. To bring knowledge, wisdom, understanding, structure, order to our own lives first, and that way we can spread that throughout the community. If our only concerns are to be desirable to women, we've already lost the battle and war as men. So those channels that sit there and talk about women all day, whether it's derogatory or they're the pickup artist or whatever, that's not conducive to manhood.
All right, so he has a point, but again, he's over here arguing with women. This is about arguing with women, right? So let me play the next clip for you, and it's gonna be a little bit more interesting, right? By the way, go follow her and subscribe to her channel. It's a healthy pushback, okay? There's no absolutes in life. You got to be careful when you put yourself in an echo chamber where everything is about absolutes, okay? You got to be careful. It puts a massive blind spot behind you, and you just don't see things when it's coming. You will lack game. You will actively reducing social skills over time, because that's an evolving thing too, because human beings are always evolving, right?
You can't be her. You're a black woman and you think you can be hypergamous?
Like
I
what?
don't think so.
Where? And what
I don't
planet?
think so.
How do we even have the opportunity to be hypergamous?
Not if you are a black
ridiculous.
woman.
So when you're arguing with women, you're gonna hear a lot of sarcasm. You're gonna hear a lot of condescension, because these are natural things to do, especially for women when they feel attacked, even if your intentions are not an attack, right? They're over here. They're talking about manosphere. For me, my first cue is that I'm not going on that stage. I don't care. Unless I was particularly invited to come and speak on manosphere being a topic that I understand. By the way, I still don't understand it, right? But let's say she deemed me as a person that understands the manosphere, and she wanted to interview me, and she invites me on. By the very nature of the fact that she invited me, she will probably accord me the same level of respect and let me answer the way I want to answer, with a certain level of respect. But we have men that go on this stage to actively, because of they're trying to do the right thing, or they have the right intentions, right? And they think they're not going to get the pushback.
You cannot be hypergamous. How dare you think you can be black woman and hypergamous? That's for Karen.
So that's a young lady called Annalisa. I've met her maybe one time on Clubhouse, and this is her tone 100% of the time when she's engaged people on the internet. She as well will have to prove to me that this thing is not touching nerves in real life. Okay, it doesn't mean it is. I'm just saying she will have to prove to me. It's the same thing across board, either way, men or women. If you're engaging this conversation, why is it that I stay out of people's backstages? And I've done it a few times, but for the most part I stay out of it, and I don't have any plan to go back to people's backstages to it depends. It really depends. Depends on how I read the room. I still need to read the room for the most part. There are a few people I may go on their stage, people like Courtney, people like Sir Hill, a few people, right? Very few. A few more people. I'm trying to think, right? But generally, when it's an echo chamber and I have an idea that they already made up their mind, I don't see the point, right? Like I don't engage people that don't want to be engaged, and that's why I respect Annalisa because once you engage her, yeah, she's gonna bring you that energy 100% of the time. With that being said, my job is to also point it out that it sounds like there's a lot of this topic is hitting certain nerves, right? She claims, I think she says she's a psychoanalysis kind of professional. I'm not sure.
That is for Karen and Ming Ming and Maria only. You, ma'am, no, ma'am. You are gonna stay with Pookie. I don't care if you have your education. I don't care if you have your education, ma'am. We don't value education.
So D Durrell is back.
You're going to have to prove to me, right? You're gonna have to prove to me that raising your voice, you gotta have to prove to me, right? And there's a good chance I already made up my mind. If you raise your voice, if you feel the need to raise your voice, man or women, there are emotions involved. The emotions doesn't have to be negative, by the way, but there are emotions involved. So a lot of patience, a lot of wisdom is required when you involve in conversations where people tend to raise their voice. Things like religion, politics, sexism, all the isms, racisms, right? You cannot say, hey, I'm bringing facts and you're bringing emotionalism. That's a fallacy. It makes no sense whatsoever.
I didn't invite you back, sir. What I said was...
All right, let me go on to the next one here. All right, when a man finds himself in a space that he has to ask, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Well, it could be a romantic relationship. It could be just a conversation. If you have to say, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? There's a good chance that you're not going to get a chance to finish. There's a good chance that emotions are already being plugged into the situation above normal, because there's always emotions, right? And there's a good chance that you're losing your own cool. There's a good chance that you're caught up in your feelings. Because can I finish comes from a place that you feel like they're not allowing you to finish. And even though you may be right, as always, you could be right, right? You could be right, trust me, right? Even though you may be right, yeah, it's not gonna work, okay? Let's watch this, can I finish?
When I'm in the manosphere, I'm debating and producing accurate arguments against the things that they're saying and telling them some of the very things that you're stating right now. So I don't.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it.
What is the accurate argument? What is that? I thought you're making an argument from a place of your own understanding, which can be flawed, which has its own limitations, right? What is the meaning of I'm providing my own argument? You could provide your own insight. They're accurately your own insights. They're accurately your own version of truth based off of a function of where you're coming from in life. All these different things, right?
Like you are.
Can you hear me?
I'm not.
I don't think she's saying why are you supporting them?
I'm more so wondering, like, do you understand why?
Yes, I do. I was trying to finish the answer. Like, I mean, I didn't say anything.
Daryl.
So he referenced back the fact that he was saying, "Can I finish?" Right? These are men that tend to be in a square. They want to keep everything in a straight line. You're having a conversation with a typical woman. She is not capable of keeping a conversation in a straight line like that. Okay. More likely you're not capable of doing that, because obviously if you understood that, you will let it fly, right? And then there are skill sets involved in bringing the conversation back to way without referencing in a condescending manner, without referencing can I finish in a condescending manner.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
but
so can I finish?
You've spoken several times, and you.
No, I did not. I didn't say anything.
Oh yeah, I was on the live stream. He did speak several times, right? Again, by the way, I am picking apart every word. Just if you're wondering, why am I picking apart the words? I'm picking apart everything, okay?
You have every time.
Juana, can I say something?
Wait a minute. I listened to a loaded question and I can't even answer.
Wait a minute.
You don't support the manosphere. Is that what it is? When you're there, you're constantly debating.
Basically, what they're trying to say is that the way you're answering the question is they can't relate. You're not landing the points. It's not making sense. It's not correlating with how they feel. Never mind what they said, right? It's not correlating with how they feel. And for as long as you continue to do that, yes, you will be interrupted.
Dating them. That's
We
what you're
heard
saying.
that part already. But
Oh yeah, and by the way, you could be saying the right thing, by the way, yes.
But we had Haran come up here and we had a great dialogue. And we everybody waited. It was popcorn style. We asked questions and he answered.
But I listened to you
There's a
speak,
difference.
and I listened to
I
a
want
loaded
everyone
question.
to
I just wanted to
recognize
finish my
the
answer.
difference. So shout out to
So he keeps talking about he wants to finish. He needs to finish. It's basically a camouflage, a need to be right.
He's asked to not be interrupted. I didn't
shout out
interrupt
to Reese and
anybody.
Haran. Thank you guys.
It's not
Miss
called
Jen,
interrupting.
did I interrupt
it's called
anybody?
a conversation.
I know, but let him
I'm
answer
trying
the
to have a
question.
conversation, but soon I listened to 3
No, he's trying to create an echo chamber. He's trying to be right.
people ask a question.
Okay.
And then when I was within the third sentence, I got interrupted. So I'm asking you all, let me finish.
So if you engage a conversation this way, even though you're right, when a woman starts to say, well, why you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you bitching? Why are you surprised that they're doing that, right? And that's the part that fascinates me the most. Eventually, these women are going to say, why are you crying? Why are you bitching? And then you act like you're surprised, or why are they acting that way? And though you call them masculine, right? What about the part that you brought the feminine energy to that space and that attracted the masculine?
Speaking, I'm not here to argue with anybody. And I've stated for several times, I don't agree with none of the stuff that they say. I'm a person that does not agree with the things, and you argue with me as if I'm a manosphere.
It doesn't matter that you say you don't agree with the manosphere. What he's alluding to is he said earlier that he doesn't agree with the manosphere. It doesn't matter, right? The don't doesn't matter. What they're hearing is that you agree with the manosphere, especially you came here and you were spewing some rhetoric that's almost sounded like you're repeating the words they're saying or you're defending them. When people are attacking another person and you come into their space to defend whatever they're attacking, you should expect that they will push back against you. And if you don't expect that, it tells me a lot about your social skills.
Supporter.
I'm not arguing with you. It's a
No, you
question.
asked me. Okay.
By the way, this is a guy who claims to be, and he's probably one, right? He claims to be a clinical psychologist, right? There are many of them like that completely lack social skills. They understand the topic from a very theoretical standpoint, but when it comes to application, it's lacking.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna just listen to you speak, and I'm not gonna say anything. Go.
Okay.
Okay, so now he's mad. So now he's angry. He gave up, right? Still not going to attract the respect that he's craving. He's craving respect from these ladies. And he would disagree, by the way. I expect him to disagree, but I'm looking at the actions.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Because every time I speak, I'm interrupted.
No,
Look at that. I thought it was done. Again, lack of consistency. In little micro places, you lack consistency. You said you were done, but you couldn't be done because she triggered you again. Oh, is she deliberately triggering you? Yes, she could be. But a lot of times in real life, she will shit test you and not necessarily deliberately.
there's a threshold. With people like him, there's a threshold. There's a ceiling.
There's a threshold for you to
There's a
not talk
ceiling.
when everybody's speaking.
No, I had a great conversation.
You
with
want
Haran.
to
have a
control the
ceiling.
mic. I wasn't
have a
even
ceiling.
speaking to you. I was speaking to the lady in the middle,
Look,
but you find
see
it
what I'm
upon
saying?
yourself to say something.
Feminine.
So can we
Well,
wait? But
I wasn't even speaking to you.
We don't have to all talk at the same time. Juana, Anna, did you have an?
So another version of can I finish is can I speak? I'm going to play another one for you. And this one is can I speak? If you find yourself in a space where you're speaking at the top of your lungs and the veins on your neck are popping out and you say, can I speak? Can I speak? Can I speak? There's a good chance that you've lost respect in that conversation. The best thing to do is to exit, is to bow out honorably because you already lost it, right? And you're only going to trigger yourself even further, okay? Let's keep going.
But I wasn't responding to you.
So every time I speak, it's
like,
hey,
this guy doesn't
either
know
you
how to
just
have a
don't want me to say
conversation.
nothing.
Wanna
I'll
ignore
just
it.
not say nothing on the panel. Because
Oh
every
my
time
God.
I say something,
I'll just not say nothing on the panel. We've all been there. Let's not act like we're holy here, right? You've all been there with a woman, maybe the woman in your life, right? Well, I'll just not say anything. Well, you're being sarcastic, you're being condescending. That's only going to attract more disrespect. The only best thing to do is shut the hell up, back off for a second. It could be just a second, right? And actively listen to. That's only, by the way, this is only we're talking about your wife, somebody you care about. If it's like complete stranger, like you're on a panel or something like that, I would just listen. It's going to take a lot of strength because again, that needs to be right. It's a real thing, right? You want to speak your own piece, right? They shut you down. That may even made it worse, right? And you start to feel your heart is pumping faster. You may say it's not that deep, but your voice is saying. You have to tell your voice that, right? You have to tell your face that it's not that deep. Your face is telling me it's that deep for you, right? And it's going to take a lot of strength to back off of a conversation that you're already emotionally engaged in, even though that wasn't your intentions, right?
Somebody has a problem.
Listen, you're talking when you shouldn't be.
Every time I say something, somebody has a problem.
Every time you talk, you shouldn't talk.
I can't say a word.
You started the statement and said,
No, I didn't.
I don't know who you talking about.
I'm muted.
I wasn't talking about
girl,
you.
who you talking to, girl? I don't know who you talking to.
I don't know who you talking about. I was not talking to you. I was talking to the gentleman over to the left, right. I don't know where it is.
So that's what women would do. Now they will claim they're not talking to you. Now the men were invited to the stage, right? Now it's your responsibility to read the room and say, is this kind of room that I want to be in? Well, for me personally, let me say, you could call this narcissistic, you call it anything you want to call it, right? If I know that I'm not going to have the room to talk, at the level of vibrations that I like to talk in, I'm not going on the panel. It's really, really simple, right? You can call it punking out, you could call it, you could call it whatever you want to call it, right? But for me, it's about retaining my power, retaining my strength, and not engaging my weaknesses. Okay, because I do have weakness, like everyone, like yourself, right? But obviously a lot of these men don't understand that. And am I trying to fix them? No, absolutely not. We will continue to see this kind of examples so we can continue to learn the lessons we need to learn on this platform.
I'm like lost on this verse for 5 hours, okay? All I'm just saying is that that's not completely accurate, that men don't want to be desirable, and that is why a lot of those men go to those spaces, and so you can't say that. That's my whole entire point.
No, I agree that's why a lot of men go to those spaces, and that needs to change.
And part of building yourself up is desirability, is it not? The more you build yourself up, the more desirable you are.
No, building yourself up creates desirability.
Right, you can't.
So again, you're engaged in semantics, okay? Semantics-driven argument with women. It tells me that you don't understand women, okay? All right? It tells me that you don't understand women. It tells me that you don't even understand yourself. Because if you understood yourself, you understand that you will get out of your own frame when you find yourself in certain spaces. But, maybe you just enjoy it. Maybe I could be wrong, right? Yes, of course.
But if your only goal is to be desired, you just become a mark.
Separate them though, sir.
Like you just become a mark.
That's the point.
Like that's it.
The goal, if the goal is not to be desirable, if the goal is not to seek validation from women, the need to argue will be instantly eliminated. Even let's bring it down to this argument by itself, right? The idea that you're engaged in this argument tells me that you need validation, and validation can be interwoven together with desirability. And that's one of the problems you see in these spaces, okay? I understand there's a difference there, right? But there's some correlations there as well, right?
You can't separate desirability and the manosphere.
Because if you have knowledge, you have wisdom, you have rationale, you have structure, you have order.
Oh yeah, the rationale. Everyone's very quick to run to the rationale. But she was talking, she didn't land yet. But you interjected. Or you find yourself in a space where you feel like she's talking too much and you need to interject. Is that really rational? I don't think so.
You have leadership capabilities, you have physical fitness, health, you have all of those things.
You find yourself in a conversation where you and a woman, you're over talking each other. Is that really rational? I'll let you decide.
That a man is supposed to have, you become desirable naturally.
Manhood from your father? Doesn't your father teach you how to be a man?
Definitely.
So is the manosphere a surrogate?
Absolutely,
father?
as do your experiences in life.
Father.
So now you've attracted a woman using sign language to engage you. She said, doesn't your father supposed to be the whatever, right? Now she's asking those questions, right? And you may receive that as sign language. Now you get triggered even more. Who's at fault with that? Nobody put a gun into your head to come to that space, right?
One of the reasons.
My father didn't teach me how to be a woman.
Look,
Don't worry about my father. But I
Auntie,
think the man is
she not gonna let you speak, brother. You can
I'm familiar with what she does, but it's not funny to me.
I do have.
To be fair, that's what Annalicia does. But again, I have to look at you, the man that put yourself in that space, because she did not invite you, at least not directly, right? If anything, it was a bait, and it takes a man with a tremendous amount of strength to be able to handle this kind of conversation. And we did have an example. Unfortunately, I don't have that clip. We did have an example, a guy that actually commanded respect when he was talking to them, but it was highly risky because, again, you don't want to swim against the trend ever. You want to make sure that the environment is conducive for whatever submission you're trying to make. And when people are already caught up in their feelings and emotions, you're not going to be the one to prove them right or wrong. They believe what they believe, right?
Have to leave, but I wanted to say that before I leave. I mean, I don't really get your point. I just think the desirability is a factor in it, and I know maybe not for you, but it's huge.
Yeah,
like
he doesn't
so
want
many
women.
Men that's what they're.
I love women.
Well, they don't love you.
Also, now you have women telling you don't want women, right? Now watch what she said. Annalisa's mouth is like a lethal weapon, right? Watch what she said.
Hey.
What I'm saying is that you
differ.
yourself may not be looking for that, but that is definitely what most of them.
That's what they are, and that's why they're not getting it, because that's
definitely. So is the manosphere a surrogate
absolutely,
father?
as do your experiences in
It's a
life.
father.
This is one of the reasons.
My father didn't teach me how to be a woman.
Look,
don't worry about my father. But
Auntie,
I think the
she not gonna let
is a
you
surrogate
speak,
father.
brother. You can
I'm familiar with what she does, but it's not funny to me.
I do have to leave, but I wanted to say that before I leave. I mean, I don't really get your point. I just think the desirability.
Listen to the next sign language very closely from Annalicia. Listen to it. The other young lady that's yelling at the top of her lungs. Listen to it very closely, right?
Is a factor in it, and I know maybe not for you, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Like
he doesn't
so
want
many
women.
Men that's what they're.
Did you hear that? She said he doesn't want women.
Oh, I love women.
Well, they don't love you.
And he said, I love women. Listen, if you have to say I love women and we can't see it, maybe you find yourself in the wrong space. Okay? But guess what she said? She said, women don't love you. Yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to prove that. Oh, you're married. Oh. Again, there are a lot of married men that find themselves in this space. I've spoken to a lot of them. A lot of them are having trouble with their marriage. Okay? A lot of them are in sexless marriages. There's a lot of resentments to women. Some of them didn't get over the resentments from high school. These things just don't come out of the skies. We're human beings. We only spend our time on things with value. Okay? That's a fact of life.
I'm saying
Believe it or not, hey.
What I'm saying is that
differ.
you yourself may not be looking for that, but that is definitely what most of them.
That's what they are, and that's why they're not getting it, because that's their premise.
Right, but you came on kind of saying that that's not what they should, what they're doing, and that is what they're doing. I understand that you don't think they should be doing that, but that's what they're on there to do. That's my entire point. And then y'all want to jump in and say, like, it's nothing to argue. It's done. It's over. That's it. Go read about the manosphere before you try to.
Already done the
go
research.
Read the book.
You may know what it was, and we understand what it is or where it should be.
I don't need to understand what it is. I don't care what people think.
I mean, you guys are doing a stream about what it is.
I just want
you guys are doing a stream about what it is, not what it was.
My first debate.
I just want black women not to
first
support it.
debate in
That's
the
what I want
manosphere
them
was
to
about
see.
the
Jen, can you mute them for a second? They're derailing.
Everybody's talking at the same time. Let's do it.
No, they're derailing. They're actually derailing.
Let's do a real super chat break. Thank you, Freezy, for the super chat. He says, no matter what, these conversations are needed, but respectfully.
Jen,
Freezy, really? Freezy talking about like Freezy talking about respectfully.
Let me say something. Hold on, Jen. I want us to, because now we've come full circle. In the beginning, we had Jabari come up here and say, why are you focusing on what it is now? Let's talk about what it used to be. And now you have this gentleman talking about, we don't care about what it was. We're talking about what it is now.
And what it will be. See, the reason why I came up here is because this actually, believe it or not, this panel turned into a manosphere panel. which is what me and D. Durrell have been complaining about and what we've been trying to correct for a while. It's turned into what women want instead of what men are supposed.
So this guy still doesn't understand that it doesn't matter what it turned to. It still doesn't understand that, right? But again, it's quite entertaining. This is exactly what you want to avoid. And I'm saying avoid because I know sometimes it will happen out of circumstances. You just find yourself in it, in a heated debate, an argument, a toxic argument with a woman, and you just want to be aware and not be dismissive, but avoid it, right? How do you do that? Actively listen to what they're trying to say without the need to be right, without the need to respond right now. With more so a need to understand where the other side is coming from, as opposed to try and understand what they're saying, because what they're saying oftentimes is not the real truth of what they're trying to say, but it's coming from a place. And if you haven't listened long enough, there's a good chance that you won't be able to respond in a masculine way, if that's a thing for you, right? But in a way that is healthy, at least to attract the kind of energy you're looking for from women, right?
Supposed to be doing with their lives. That was the reason why I even came up here.
Did you see the topic for tonight?
The comprehension.
The topic wasn't what you said.
Load. It's load.
No, I mean that's a problem.
No, the topic.
Low comprehension is a problem.
The topic was, is the manosphere pseudo-masculinity? That was the topic, sir.
Yo, see?
I mean, I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean.
Okay.
Pseudo-masculinity. There's only one type of man.
So if you don't know what it's supposed to mean, why don't you ask? Or are you just being sarcastic, right? Because again, you're triggered, right? Speaking of being triggered, right? This is how I know that the person is triggered. This is my cue. If I want to know, this is like my number one cue to know if somebody is triggered or not, right? It's not what they say, it's about their action, right? Sometimes that action could be their words, but it could be designed to negate, but it will actually tell me precisely if you're triggered or not. Let's watch I Am Not Triggered.
We don't understand.
I didn't come up here to defend the manosphere. I really didn't.
So if you have to say I didn't come here to defend the manosphere, that means you feel like the other person is reading you as defending the manosphere. There's a good chance that you came up there to defend the manosphere. When we talk about the book The Secret and the law of attraction, there are a lot of men that will say, oh, that bullshit, right? And they don't understand what that means. What it means generally is if you say I didn't come here to defend the manosphere, defend the manosphere becomes the subject of the matter. It becomes the actually dominating idea of the conversation, and there's a good chance that people already feel you're defending the manosphere. That's what we mean by, a lot of times, by the law of attraction, or what you will learn from the book The Secret, right? But it's so real, it's mind-boggling.
They're crying and doing all of
I want to say bye to you. I want to say bye to you.
act like a lady.
Say bye to Durrell. Yeah, I'm leaving this channel.
They love to argue with women.
Act like a lady.
Hello.
Look,
They love to argue with women. Hello. All right. Sign language is real.
you're gonna have to get some new tricks, Anna. Like the old ones don't work anymore.
Exactly.
Anyway,
This is not a trick.
Anna acts like a lady.
You trying emasculation tactics, they don't work against grown men. Try
You're
again.
not a strong man, sir. But
I said grown men. Okay.
She said, you're not a strong man, sir. Let me play this clip real quick. I think it's a good time to play this clip right now. Let me just play this clip real quickly. This is, we gotta do this every now and then to remind.
Hey! Yo! With me, nigga! What's wrong with you, nigga?
Come on! Where my glasses?
Get off of me before I jump your goofy ass again. Now beat that, bitch ass nigga. Pay for this shit. Hurry up.
No,
Pay
come
for
on.
that shit and hurry up before I drop your ass again. Touch me, then I'm
Yo,
gonna drop
stop
you.
video before they
Quit
help
touching
me.
me.
You got my key.
Quit touching me,
help
bitch.
you.
No,
help you.
Hey, you can't trigger me.
I think
I don't have to.
She said, you can't trigger me. If you have to say that, there's a good chance you're already triggered. It's too late. Come on, gentlemen. Come on. Okay.
So
Anna, go back to the drawing board Go
I
back
think
to the
we need be
divestment
careful
community and get some more
Oh my
talking
God,
points.
sir, be quiet. I think we need to be careful. Like, we shouldn't prematurely label these men. Oh, he's good black man. He's up here actively arguing with women. He's just as vindictive. He's just
Annie,
as petty.
Anna.
He's over talking just as
Anna,
much.
when are you
I mean, I actually agreed with Jen on most.
Now it's real. The Jens of this world will call you out very fast. Also because she's in that same energy, by the way. So let's not get that twisted, right? It's also because she's in that same energy. Hey, Just Jay, welcome. I think you're gonna like what I'm doing right now, right? Also because she's in that same energy, but more importantly, she's calling out because it's real. It's happening right there, right?
To the things that she said.
Please.
A little pushback doesn't make it an argument.
Because they say they're good black men. Like,
Anna, you're
yeah, because no black men are good men, right? Unless they kiss your ass, right?
You're too
Ain't that
feminine
right?
for my taste. I need more bass in the tone, in the voice.
Yeah.
You're too feminine for me.
Anna,
But
yeah,
do your
I
thing.
get it.
I get it. It takes a masculine man to kiss your ass, right?
Anna, I want to ask Anna a
Wrong.
question. Can I ask you a question, Anna?
So every time a man knows how to have a conversation with a young lady, that means he's kissing ass is a simp. See, when a man talks that way, he tells you everything you need to know. Okay? It tells you everything you need to know right there. He feels like if a man is in a place where he can have a conversation with some of the strongest masculine women like an Alicia, it means the guy is kissing ass. That's what he just said.
No, you cannot. Access denied. We're going to move on. Access denied. We're going to move on.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Access denied. The answer is no.
The answer. So that means you don't want to answer a real question, but you just want to.
Because she can read the condescension. She knows that you're trying to get her into a corner, and she's not going to allow that. She's masculine. She's not going to deny that either, right? I don't know if she would, but it doesn't matter. Actions speak louder than words. But again, she's controlling the conversation right now. The fact that you said, "Can I ask you a question?" means that you already feel like you're not allowed to ask the question, and she's telling you right away.
Regurgitate things on and on. Okay, we get it.
I'm not interested in you. Don't ask me a question.
Obviously, nobody likes listening to you. That's why you do this.
Right, but
I get it.
Oh, now so he's throwing the sign language. Okay, so he couldn't maintain his frame because he just got triggered again, right?
I get it.
I
get it. This is the only way you can relieve yourself. I get it.
I'm just saying.
Another sign language is the only way you can relieve yourself, right? The shaming, the insults, it's back and forth.
Hey, look, you called me feminine. I have not insulted a single woman up here.
You must like
which I wouldn't do.
You're still here.
Oh wait. Is he receiving it as an insult? Being feminine is not necessarily an insult. Okay, let me take that back. If you receive it as an insult, it's an insult, right? That's the truth. Okay, but let's talk about why you attracted that in the first place. Why did you find yourself in a space where a woman is actively trying to insult you? I know it's not your fault. It's not about fault. It's not about guilt, shaming, insult, condemnation. I'm just asking, how did you find yourself in a space where a woman feels the need to insult you? I get it. It's not your fault. I completely get it. But can we unpack that? Is it possible?
Here.
Guys, wait a minute. Let me just say this.
That was a rhetorical question.
Juana is on her way back really quickly. I want to get her on the panel. I want us to do a cool down right now because I'm about to end the stream.
No, I want you to watch
value education.
This video right here. I want you to watch this video right here. This guy was on the stage. He basically spewed a lot of nonsense in the name of him being a clinical psychologist. However, he got called out on it. He left in anger. It looked like he left in anger. And then he came back. He uninvited himself, invited himself back again. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Watch it.
So D Durrell is back. I didn't invite you back, sir. What I said was you're welcome to the panel at any time because you're in the comments barking like you're disgruntled about what happened up here. I didn't tell you to go.
No, to Jen's credit, Jen will tell you very quickly that she will shame your ass if you're coming off as a feminine man, right? She's admitted that, right? And I like it that she admits to that, because that's, I think her channel is needed in this space, okay? Because I think we can extract some of those things and then we can see maybe how you can move a little bit better. If you find that in your personal life, you're finding yourself in this kind of space all the time.
I didn't kick you out the studio. All I said was don't bicker. And you're welcome to be on the panel at any time.
So the first time he left the panel, he went into the chat and then started insulting them from there. He wouldn't admit to that he's insulting them, but that's precisely what it was. He was basically throwing shots at them. And these ladies, Tuana, Jen and Annalicia, they're not the type to let you go. They're not going to let you get away. As they're on the show, running the show, they're also in the chat and they're actively responding to you in there. And then after that, you still don't have respect for yourself. Let me tell you something. If you want respect from women, it starts with respecting yourself. And sometimes it's by bowing out honorably, even if it feels like you took an L. It's okay to take an L and leave a conversation that it's just not conducive, right? But he didn't get that memo, of course. He came back on stage.
Make your point. That's what was said.
It's the comprehension. It goes from the mouth, and then before it gets to the ear, there's like an impediment. There's like, I don't know. It must be the female nature. I don't know what it is.
It's the female.
I don't know what
So Jen, who?
Wow, she said it must be the female nature, right? So you would think that women would not want to insult themselves to call a man a female, essentially call them the weaker sex, but they don't mind. Have you noticed they don't mind doing that if it comes down to quote unquote putting you in your space if you're in your feminine energy, right?
Who was I bickering with, Jen?
She said a female.
I wasn't bickering with anybody.
You bicker with everybody.
You and Anna were bickering back and
No,
forth.
I was simply educating and I was interrupting. I was simply educating. I'm not here to bicker.
Wait, what's this idea of educating people that didn't ask you to educate them, right? See, I created a channel for this purpose because honestly, I'm okay talking to myself here. Well, not really. I know that the algorithms will find this content at some point, right? But the point is that why are you educating people or engaging people that didn't ask you for help? Why are you educating people that didn't admit to a problem or ask you a direct question? I don't understand. And rhetorical questions does not count, right? Why are you doing that? That tells me a lot about your social skills as well.
Now, you see what you're doing right now?
No, ma'am, no. I was expressing a thought.
Okay,
I can't express a thought.
See, women do this effortlessly. I don't even think that Jen realizes she's doing it. Like literally educating him, but it's probably going away over his head, right? Like, see what you're doing right now? Like, it's true. He's doing it right there. The need to be right there. He's doing it and he's throwing a little shame, insult, shade. These are things that you expect females to do. Sorry, females.
How it works is you have to wait till someone makes a point and then you can jump in there with yours.
Wait, I thought you were talking to me.
I'm not.
Jen, you're too nice.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Try again. I'm gonna try again. Let me see if I can finish my sentence. Okay. I said after I finish my thought, you are more than welcome to say what you have to say. Go on.
I can talk now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I was saying was that what I was stating from my
honestly, even down to the I could talk now, even down to that one, right? That was a condescending statement right there. All right. So I'm reading picking apart everything. Again, it's about the whole energy, right? So everything is about to say after I can talk right now, it's probably gonna fall on the deaf ears. How come these guys don't realize? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit on a different level, but yes, you want to be able to read little things like that until it becomes a second nature to you, and then you will see what I am talking about. But right now, again, if you're caught up in your feelings, you can't see it, right?
From my perception, was that I was not bickering with anybody. I was simply trying to educate, and I was interrupted. Now we can agree to disagree.
I was interrupted. If you have to say, I don't care if you're on Clubhouse. I understand the nature of Clubhouse. If you have to say I was interrupted, you were interrupted because, it was falling on deaf ears. Whatever you're saying is not being welcomed. Okay, again, it has to do a lot with your social skills, right? There is a space, trust me, even on Clubhouse or platforms or Twitter space where you can do back and forth banters. I would just hope that you're very aware that nothing good, nothing productive is going to come out of it, just because of the nature of that conversation. Okay, so if you're in a romantic relationship, then the last space you want to be is in this kind of vibes, in this kind of toxic environment. Okay,
with that. But what I want to talk about as it relates to the guy talking about or failure to talk about female nature and so forth. So what I would like to do
Anna, let him finish, please.
Sorry.
Annalicia, you see, I didn't even finish talking. She interrupted. You'll be interrupted. I hate that I don't have that clip here right now. There's a clip of a guy that actually engaged them properly, and he did a fantastic job. Actually, I was about to predict him up front, but I was wrong, and he did a fantastic job, and he made some really good points. And of course, you know this man, they're gonna call him a simp, right? Let's keep going.
Okay, so in the manosphere, when you hear guys talk about female nature, and in my years of listening to a lot of these guys talk about this, and even incels that I've treated, when they're speaking of the female nature,
he's treated incels. He claims he's treated incels. Yeah, right. I doubt that very much. If anything, maybe you encourage them to remain incels, but I could be wrong too. I could be wrong, right? So Manosphere is a reject support group. That's what she said. I didn't say that. But let's see if she makes any sense out of this. Let's see. Jen, right?
School me on the manosphere. I am well versed. I know what it is. It's not an anomaly. It's not a mystery. It is not hard to comprehend. It is a reject support group.
Damn. See, one of the problems is that a lot of these guys, a lot of the people in the manosphere don't realize. I don't think they realize they're repeating the same talking points. I don't think they realize that they lack creativity. I wouldn't call it creativity, but at least they lack the connection to real life, to real world, right? I don't think they realize that, because if somebody listen to just 3 live streams, it gets very obvious. It becomes extremely, like, after that, you could hear 3 sentences from the mouth of a person that is overly soaked into the manosphere, and you know exactly where they're coming from, and they just don't realize it. And that's what she's speaking to, right? When she say a reject support group, unfortunately, I have to agree with that. I have to agree. The only way you find yourself on an average in this space is if you feel like you've been rejected, or you feel there's some exceptions to the rule where somebody is trying to understand. Maybe they fell into it by mistake. Maybe, like, for example, a DJ Academics was inside of a Fresh and Fit video, and the algorithms kind of connected you together, and then you're watching like, what the hell? This sounds all weird. If you're that kind of person, it will sound weird to you first because you can't relate, right? Eventually, you may start to find it fascinating, and then you're listening. I happen to be that type of guy. I've had my own experiences, right? But I was more so in the marriage and relationship, and you could see a link there. Even though the manosphere would try to claim that this is about men's support group, it's not about women, but they talk about women 99.999% of the time. And I have to look at your actions.
If you were a desirable man, you'd be on a date or married or smashing.
That's your perception.
No, that's
your
That's
perception,
the reality.
man.
That's the reality.
Yo, and
So there is a Pookie, a Ray Ray, it sounds like it at least, that was basically pushing hard against them, right? He said that was your perception. Well, exactly, that was the perception. What is the argument there, right? That was your perception. Well, that's the perception, right? Perception is real. When are you gonna learn that perception is reality?
and yo, you're so what
And
you
TV's gonna make for good content for me.
Oh yeah, bro. This is about a week's worth at least.
Do you understand that? Just when y'all use my content,
Well, y'all let me know when it's my turn.
Well, they said it's gonna be good content. Let me just give Jen her credit. I did let her know I'll be using these clips, so let me give her credit right now. This is what she said about using these clips.
attack the women on the panel. Take that shit to your other page, okay? If you're gonna use my content, cause y'all are, this is gonna be a week's worth of content, spell my motherfucking name right so they know where to look for me. Cause I tell you right now, I don't give a fuck who uses my content. On the block with Jen, bitch. So they know where to find me. Now I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can be.
Yeah. So this is getting real. I've got some more that I want to play, right? So this guy, if he thinks the manosphere gives information, yes. In a lot of ways, the manosphere have a lot of places where they may be giving some useful information, but of course, you know, the negative travels farther, right? I'll be very honest with you. Why am I playing this right now? There are multiple reasons why I'm playing this. The number one reason is because I found that it creates, it allows me to be able to teach the lessons I want to teach from a very application-driven standpoint. I have 100 videos on this platform that I first led the channel with, teaching game from a romantic standpoint, social skills standpoint, emotional. Maybe I have 2 videos about money in there, right? So, but after the 100, the plan was to bring some real life application, and this was example of it, right? So the other reason is because I understand the human nature. We listen to this, we learn from it, but it's also, you can hear the toxic argument part of it. And the likes of Jen, thank God for Jen, because they're able to create this out of thin air by creating topics that will provoke the real truth about why this space exists in the first place. And we will continue to uncover this, okay? I promise you, I will continue to uncover this as we continue to go, because I don't think it's going to finish, you know? Oh yeah, I gotta remove some of the videos from the studio. Let's see, the next video here, it's about if the manosphere gives information or not.
Then you treat them accordingly. If you're able to retract any kind of resources from a male and he's a sucker, then you treat him accordingly. Now with the information that the red pill community.
Okay, Just Jay. So let me ask you: are you able to tell so far that this is one of the students of the manosphere? If you were to guess how many hours this guy spent listening to the manosphere per week, how many hours would you think? Just off of 2 or 3 sentences that is uttered so far, what would you guess? Like, how many hours do you think this guy spent listening to the manosphere every week? If you were to guess, I'm not sure if you're listening right now, because I know the nature of this thing will go in and out. How many hours would you guess this guy listens to the manosphere just off of listening to 2? Exactly, 30 hours. Let me keep playing.
Have for these young men, they give them information to watch out for certain snares when they interact with these women. You know what I mean? Like, everything from child support, alimony, false accusations on rape, etc. And I understand where the frustration could come from the female side, because a female is not going to have a full understanding of what the male got to go through when they dealing with these kind of adversities and snares, when they dealing with with the female in that kind of lane. I mean,
what's the female nature?
Yeah, can I?
What is the female nature, sir? Can you?
So he came here to, whatever he just said, I don't know what the fuck he just said. The only thing I could tell is that he listened to the manosphere at least 30+ hours per week. Okay, but after that, obviously they were listening because they were listening for an opportunity to basically attack him, right? Whose fault is that? He put himself in that space. Female do have nature. Male men does have nature. We have nature as human beings as compared to lions, right? We're emotional beings, right? But I'm taking them out of context. Let's see what they're talking about, right?
Do you know what it is? Could you enlighten me, please?
And in modern day time is hypergamy on steroids. You know what I mean?
So
hypergamy on steroids.
Is it hypergamy on steroids because of inflation, or is it hypergamy on steroids because what do you think?
She should test him at this point.
Well, one, the mass media, it do promote a lot of females to be promiscuous. You know what I mean? You got
not the promiscuity. No. Yeah, it's one of the quickest way, one of the closest places that they run to very fast. How promiscuous women are, right? Is this really a real concern for you as a gentleman? Like, why are you so concerned about promiscuous women? Oh, there's more promiscuous women on the streets. Really? Is that really the truth, or you heard that from the gurus of the manosphere? Did you read that in the Rational Mail? Have you have enough experience to know that women are just promiscuous all over the place? Or maybe you're the consumer of OnlyFans, right? This is getting interesting. It's getting interesting. I'll tell you.
The Megan Thee Stallions, the Cardi B's.
Hold on.
They have a large fan base and they're able.
Hold on, sir.
Okay.
You said the media.
I'm just going to tell you straight up right now. It's going to be hard for this platform not to feel like it's attacking men. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be a lot of hard work for me. But I guarantee you that's not the purpose. The purpose is to tell you what not to do. The purpose is to tell you what to avoid. The type of behavior you need to avoid. Listen, you could come into the manosphere, you end up here because you had some experience. A young lady took your heart out and stomped all over it. I get it. Right? Or you could relate with somebody who experienced that. Like you said, prenup, right? Child support, all this unfair setup in society against men. Yes, those things are real, right? But this is precisely how not to fix those issues. Okay? This is how not to fix those issues. That's why I'm pointing them out.
Let's differentiate. Let's name names, but is it men that's pushing promiscuity? Like, who benefits when women are promiscuous?
Us, me.
Men, right? So who?
So
if
why?
You have to take a guess. Who do you think is pushing the narrative? Whether it be
I'm gonna tell you straight up. Even Annalicia, I'm not engaging her in a conversation. Listen. Unless she directly invites me, I doubt that very much, right? I don't know, I don't think topics crosses each other's path, but never say never, right? But I'm just saying, in this space, in this conversations where she's at, I'm not engaging her. But it's kind of funny that we have a lot of men that don't realize that different vibrations, right? They don't understand what vibrations are, right? Neither one is neither right or wrong. It's just what it is. Like, it's kind of interesting that they don't know how to read a room, right? She's shit testing you and she's not sleeping with you. The only person that has the opportunity to shit test me is the person I'm sleeping with. That's it. The mother of my kids. And guess what? She still does it. Not deliberately, but there are times, there are moments where a conversation happens and she shit tests me, right? And the reason why I'm still in this 15 years later is because I've passed more than I failed. Have I failed the shit test sometimes? Yes. Yes. But you actively continue to put yourself in a situation where you're arguing with women on the internet, on Clubhouse and YouTube, and you don't really want to look at the guy in the mirror and say, hey, why am I moving this way, right? Oh, you need to blame an Annalicia for this? No, you don't get to blame her for this. You don't. Because if I were you, I wouldn't be engaged her in a place where she's actively, I could hear her trying to shit test me. Instead, I would probably say, what do you mean? Why are you asking that question? I'm asking that question because of what you said. What do you mean? What did I say? What part of it did I say? I would take control of that conversation immediately by asking what I call the open-ended quality questions. And if I couldn't, I would remove myself. It would be hard as hell, hard as shit, but I would remove myself if I have to, if that's what I have to do. But of course, you gentlemen have the need to be right, of course, right? So you stay there until you get stomped up. Your heart gets broken even worse and worse over and over again. It just gets worse. So you're building all this resentment. You're building a perpetual vicious cycle that you will never be able to escape. The chances that you will escape it. I'm going to get to a clip here in a second where Jen was talking about there is hope. Well, the hope, that hope, I don't know, because you're building this thing by spending 30 plus hours listening to rhetorics all about how women is just at fault, and it's just never about how you attract the situations in your life, right? I don't know.
Media.
I mean, obviously the female does. I mean, nah, the female she benefits off being promiscuous.
Females benefit from being promiscuous. Females are devalued. Health in terms of your health.
I told you, the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallion. This is what's this is what's in the new wave, right?
Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion is not just Jay. They're not the normal human beings, normal people that you encounter in your personal life. They're not. So I don't see the correlation. I don't see the comparison outside of influence. I guess they do influence, but even the influence they have, it has limitations, right? Has limitations, especially the way you move as a man in this society. See, if people are coming to the table, if some kind of Megan Thee Stallion come into my space, she's coming into my space. And if I engage that, I better have enough emotional intelligence to engage that level of influence, right? It's very likely I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. It's just likely, right? Or somebody who takes on. There's a lot of, even inside of this live stream, you will hear Tawana admitting to be a beehive. Does that mean she's living that life every single second of the day? So why bring in the city girls culture and every conversation about women in general, right?
Megan Thee Stallion doesn't represent black women as a whole, so we're gonna just leave that alone. And then even female black rappers, it's for them to have the notoriety that they have today, they never had before. It's really, rap has always been male centered. It's always been a male centered industry. I just want to know, who do you think is pushing that narrative or that culture?
She has influence.
From who?
She has a large fan base.
Yeah.
I know the answer. I know the answer to that. And you're not gonna.
And I heard what you had to say.
She wasn't asking him. You see, another man say, "I know the answer to that. I know the answer to that." In the first place, they shouldn't be on that panel. You would have to beg me. Now I get it. If I was, the only people that should have been on that panel are people, maybe Durrell, one of the people in their camp, but all these other guys, unless you deliberately invite me to that panel to come and speak on a topic that I understand that you've deemed me to understand, I would not be on that panel to argue back and forth. It could be a little light debate here and there, and I can respectfully say, oh no, I disagree. Here's why. You wait for me, I make my point, If we don't have that kind of space, no, I'm not having the conversation. And it's not arrogance, it's just nothing productive is going to come out of it. It's a waste of my time. And the only way I will have this kind of conversation is if you're paying me for it. Hence where we're creating this content as well.
You basically said that they teach you that women are hypergamous and using you, and so they put you on game. And they let you know how women think. That's what you told.
Female nature. The female
nature.
If you figure out the female nature.
You say some men, some masculine alpha men in the manosphere teaching you about female nature. Did you
Sign
hear
language.
What you said? This is what you just I'm just saying, listen to what you're saying.
What?
How can they teach you that? I don't understand.
It seems like they're the perfect woman.
Right, like they.
If you're the perfect woman, come out and say that.
Right, like why would they be able to tell you about female nature? They don't know.
Like if you're the perfect woman, if you have the feminine nature to a T, to a science, get you a high value man and be okay with it.
Teach them how to teach us how to get a high value man, because they so good at telling y'all about female nature. I don't understand.
Can
how
somebody
these
tell me what
men
it is?
can do that.
What is the female nature that black men need to be educated about? Because when I think of the nature.
Right. So remember that guy that was talking that Just Jay, you predicted that he listens to the Manosphere about 30 plus hours per week. Let's see what the ladies have to say about that. Let's see how well you did with your prediction, Just Jay.
Not to get played, because there's a lot of suckers out here that's getting played. I mean, ain't nothing wrong for a group of males to inform males to be careful from the snares of women, of the modern day female. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Listen,
a crime.
Let me tell you what they're doing. You sound like a robot. You literally sound like a robot. Like the way y'all sound, it's literally the
What's
same.
up, Auntie?
What's going on, D. Darrell?
It is the same conversations. You guys regurgitate what they're telling you about women, and you say it over and over. It's like you're wishing on a star, or you're like rubbing a genie or something.
Nah.
The reason, hold on. Let me finish my statement. Let me finish.
The reason why
I heard you talk. I know what you got to say.
The reason why this community.
Oh, can you mute him, please? Okay.
The reason why the community has done, the reason why they all sound the same is because y'all doing the same shit over and over.
I don't care. Mute. Thank you. We've heard what you had to say about women, but let you know that
I don't go with the men.
All right. So if you engage women at this in this type of energy, see, fuck your facts. Okay, there's a video I'm actually gonna go find. Maybe I'll react to it later. All that fuck the feeling nonsense. No, fuck your fact. If you're engaged with a woman with this type of energy, what do you expect to come out of it? I don't understand, right? That's in addition to the fact that she predicted, accurately, right? You sound like a robot, and Just Jay also predicted that here earlier, right? It's true, they regurgitate the same stuff over and over. Now he claims that it's because the behavior of the women are consistent. That's what he claimed as well too, right? Right? So yeah, this is what we're trying, this is the problem we're trying to solve. How do you bring some creativity in this? You have to approach these issues at individual levels, right? We have to get rid of the whole data point stand talking point. You look at data and you say, okay, what do we get out of this? Let's apply that to real life right now. Instead of disengaging completely from application and then acting like there's no real world where people are actually experiencing good time with ladies, right? Yes, probability says otherwise, but that's probabilities, right? That's data, right? What about possibilities? The natural thing you're supposed to engage as a man who is after his own purpose. If you're a man who is after his own purpose, are you really just looking at statistics to determine your next move, or you're looking to move in the most utmost way into the highest heights that you could possibly get to as a man, right? So this is a serious problem, a serious epidemic out here.
You're unattractive.
This is a serious problem, and we need to address it. We need to keep talking about it. Okay.
You may be shy. You may have personality issues. There are a lot of people who suffer from very real personality issues.
Yeah, narcissism. And psychopathy.
Once again,
that's not narcissism.
It's impossible.
That's not what narcissism
to have
means.
a conversation.
Yeah, narcissism is a personality disorder.
I'm a mental.
So narcissism is a personality disorder that you have to actually diagnose individuals. But she's talking in general. The same talking points that men tend to. We're just talking in general. We're not talking about the exceptions to the rules. Well, she's doing the same thing. She's not talking about anybody in particular, right? She's saying you have to pick that up yourself. She's saying these are narcissistic traits. She's not saying she's trying to diagnose anybody. But watch what they're about to do right now with the semantics. Watch this. People do this in their marriage, and then they wonder why she doesn't want to feel like having sex. Watch it.
Mental health professional. That is not narcissism.
As am I. And if you have a personality disorder,
clearly, no, it's not.
Clearly.
So you're self-assessing.
And no one in the Manosphere
So you're self-assessing without meeting someone. Do you know that's unethical? Are you self-assessing without even meeting someone face to face?
Oh, now we're talking about unethical. All right. How disingenuous is that, right? Now she's wrong, but again, remember, it's not about right and wrong. You found yourself in this argument for a reason, and you're deflecting.
You're doing.
Are
you trained? Are you trained in the assessments and appraisals
right.
to measure personality?
You know what I'm doing,
or are you not? Do you?
Stop it. There's articles all over the place on what makes up what the disorder is. There's articles everywhere, right? But again, that doesn't mean you can diagnose people. I'm not saying she's right. Now you want to be ethical, yeah, right.
You have a psychology degree. You have a master's degree in counseling, like I do. So how you going to tell me? How you going to tell me what is and what's not? I have over 20 years experience. Until you get that experience, you need to be quiet. It's not. You're wrong. That is not what narcissism means.
It's the big words for me. It's the big words. It's like that time that I got dragged on the TLA's platform, right? A lot of people just, as much as they were accusing me of not knowing what sign language was, they were stuck in the need to be right. Everyone, you'll see S.I.G.N, shame. Everybody was spelling it out. Like, come on, how more do you need to tell me that you are a square and you lack social skills? Yeah, those are the indications. I mean, I could see them from 10,000 miles away. Right? Appraisals. Why do we need to use that word in this conversation? Completely not necessary, right? That's Rollo Tomasi, right? Big words, just big words, a bunch of word salad. You know, his book is really, really good. His book is really, really good. I have to give him that. But everything outside of the book is a bunch of nonsense. But let's keep having the conversation.
That is not what narcissism means.
Oh, not everything, but a lot of stuff. I want to be fair to him. I do like Rollo, but the application is terrible.
Because someone may have traits of it's a difference between having traits of an illness as far as having full-fledged classic narcissism. That is not narcissism.
Hold on.
So the conversation changed directions completely. Just because you need to tell us that you know what narcissistic personality disorder or whatever that is, the personal disorder is, right? Anyone can Google that. That's not what these conversations are about. And that's why this conversation tend to be missing a lot. Right?
You don't know what you're talking about. Be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he said be quiet. He's triggered. How do you tell people shut up, be quiet, and you're not triggered? Oh, I didn't say shut up. I said be quiet.
Wait a minute.
You don't know what narcissistic personality means.
So be quiet.
You don't know. Just say you don't know what it means. You don't, because no one that really knows what narcissism means would say that. That is not what narcissism means.
Okay,
there's over 12 to 15 traits that classify that, and then you also have to have those traits. You have to have at least 8 of the 12 running conjunction with each other. You're only talking about a few things based on a subjective attitude towards people that you.
So she said you have to have 9 because again, since everyone is stuck in their need to be right, now you're arguing with a woman, you bring yourself down to equal with a woman, and you deserve every masculine energy that comes from that. This shit works 100% of the time. You create that polarity that glue you guys together because one side is masculine and the other is feminine. That's how it came apart. So the question is, who is masculine, who is feminine? That's the question. The only way you stay there and engage is because one is masculine, one is feminine. Oh, well, you know what? Because there's also a mismanaged disorder in the way the mix of the two energies happens. There's chaos, right? So maybe both of you were in your feminine energy or both of you were in your masculine energy, but bottom line is that there's something chaotic going on there and it's not good. At least not for any kind of long-term relationship. We know that. Oh yeah, this is not a long-term relationship, right? Oh yeah, but you're gonna have to prove to me that this is not how you argue with your wife at home. I know, it's just YouTube, right? It's not that deep. You're right. You're right. You're right. So here's Jen trying to tell us there's hope for everybody, right? After dragging the MANOSPHERE through the mud, and now she's trying to tell us there's hope for everybody. Let's see about this.
Hey Jen, you mind if I cut in for a second?
Wait a minute, Daryl. Let me finish
Yes,
so
sir.
we're not talking over
Yes,
each
ma'am.
other. Are you okay? I'll throw it to you after this. There is hope for everybody. I don't care if you have a gut. I don't care if you're short. I don't care if you have a receding hairline. I don't care if somebody called you ugly back in the 5th grade and you never got over it.
That's a lie.
She said that's a lie. She said that's a lie. Let me see the meaning of hope. I know what hope means, but since we're all a square and we like a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. Of course, there is hope for everyone. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? It doesn't mean it's gonna happen, right? So, Annalicia, she's more of the analytical person on that stage, and she said that's a lie.
Okay. No,
well, I think it's very unlikely when you immerse yourself in the manosphere 30 plus hours a week. I think it's very unlikely. It's a very unhealthy place to be in life, especially if you have resentment against women, based off of what I can observe, right? I think you're digging deeper hole for yourself. I think you're gonna create a vicious cycle for yourself. I think the best thing to do is to go seek therapy. If you find that you're not necessarily creating content, so for me, I do spend a certain amount of hours in this space because I need to know what to react to, because I know all the toxic stuff happens here, right? So if you're not creating content and you find that you're engaging more than 30 plus hours a week as a man in the manosphere, I would definitely suggest to engage therapy or at least counseling with your pastor, and you need to unpack all of these different things going on from a place of emotions, okay, from an emotional standpoint. Okay, that same thing that you're trying to discount, that you're trying to pretend doesn't exist, you need to unpack all of this, because I'm telling you, unless you live in a cave, what's up, L. Nixon? Unless you live in a cave, right? I'm telling you that this is gonna get worse for you. You're creating a vicious cycle. So I agree with Annalicia there that I don't know. While there is hope, I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't know if there's hope. I don't know if you continue to stay in this space.
There is hope. I'm
Annalicia.
Okay.
There's hope for everybody. If you're ugly, you can dress nice.
No.
Okay. If you're short, you can improve your personality.
Okay. Yo, come on, man. Come on, man.
No, there's.
You can, but how are you going to increase your personality if you're busy regurgitating and soaking in all this negative rhetoric about women? I don't know. We're human beings. We're spiritual beings. It's going to be hard to do that. It's going to be extremely hard to do that.
Hope. I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it. But they're not going to get there listening to these losers on.
That's a typical woman for you right there. She still finds a space in her heart to have empathy for you and say, hey, maybe there's hope, right? I don't know. I think there is hope. But I think more important than anything else, I think a man needs to be a man in this society. Women will give you advice and say there's hope and all this kind of stuff, but you're gonna have to do a little bit better than following hope. You're gonna have to step your game up and stop depending on women to validate you, because that's precisely what your actions are saying, right? That's what your actions are saying. Right? It's crazy, man. You have to disconnect. Annalicia also has a personal attachment to her. Yeah, I've said that earlier. You came late. Yeah, Annalicia is definitely, there's a lot of stuff that's hitting the nerve for her. She's going to have to prove to me that, she's going to have to try hard to prove to me that this is not personal. She tried to claim that, but I doubt it. I doubt it, just like everybody else, right? So I don't know, it's gonna be hard that, she's pushing all this rhetorics, black man. Again, when you speak from a place of WCC and generalizations, WCC is worst case scenario. It's very hard for you to tell me that this is not personal and that you're not going to project this into your future relationships. It's going to be very, very hard as long as you're a human like the rest of us. It's going to be very hard. She counsels young girls and single mother. She told her therapist she's going to be in therapy all her life. Yeah, it's real. It's real. But we're talking to men. Let's not worry about Annalicia. We're talking to men in general. You're going to encounter Annalicia in this world. In fact, Annalicia is going to be the best leverage point for you to learn how to handle women. Okay? You need to think about a situation where you find yourself in a world where life is not fair. Isn't that the kind of real world we live in? Right? It's not about fairness. If you're in the pursuit of fairness, you're going to fail. Right? You're going to fail. it's not going to work for you, because that's not, you're going to approach things from a standpoint, I need to attack women because you think it's supposed to be fair, because now you're thinking things are not fair, right? So naturally you hold resentments, naturally you feel attacked. Naturally, when people feel attacked, what do you want to do? You want to defend yourself. What does defending yourself look like on the outside world? You're offending other people, right? You're gonna offend people, right? Because if you're gonna feel the need to defend yourself, you might as well attack, right? You might as well offend, right? Or even if you don't mean to do that, right? Even if that wasn't your
attack
intention.
these women and insult them. Just wait your turn to speak. You'll have your turn. Okay.
I mean, when is my turn?
When I say it is.
I'm just gonna take my turn right now, then.
Okay. No.
She said, when I say it is. She just told you that you are a nobody. If you understand how women work, right? Or if you understand power dynamics, you should just chill a little bit. Let it, okay, all right, sure, bet. And you should exit right away. But of course, you lack self-respect, right? Of course, you have the need to be right. Of course, now you're going to make her know how you feel. You're going to compete with her, right? You have to hurt her feelings back, right? Let's watch him hurt her feelings back.
No, you're not. You're gonna wait.
I ain't waiting for shit. Fuck it, man.
Goodbye.
Hey, yo, 777 salute to you, man.
And then you have another man saying 777 salute you blah blah blah. Yeah, of course, if you see me in the house, please, you can always expect that I will be doing these reactions, especially to Jan, because I like Jan and I like her, and she's giving me the green flag to do this. So yeah, absolutely. If I see any of this content, let me know, tag me. I talks B, tag me. Okay, you can see it on the screen right there. I want to know about it because I want to respond to it, because this is how we're gonna learn, watching the actions, watching how people act, not what they say, not what I'm saying either. Okay, see, if you look at my face, this expression of emotions on my face, right? Yes, because I'm a human being like the rest of us, right? As opposed to discounting emotions, right? As opposed to discounting emotions. Thank you, Onyx. I know you got me. I know you and Just Jay got me all day long. Thank you so much. We got to keep having this conversation, okay? But beyond just the talking echo chambers, we have to take it beyond that, because I feel like there's a lot of young men and women that will be hearing the wrong things. If a bunch of young women are hearing the manosphere as the raw, it's not healthy either. They're going to end up becoming unhealthy pick-me's. There's nothing good. I don't agree with the idea that pick-me's is what you're looking for. I don't agree with that. I think you should be careful with pick-me's, because there's a blind spot, because women are women for a reason. That's a good thing. If you see it as a weakness, that's your problem. There's strength in women being women. The idea that they have to relate with us or be able to rationalize with us like men it doesn't work. That's gonna show up on other side of things that you're not gonna like. Okay, you're looking for women to rationalize talking points like you. That's not what you're looking for. That's not what a feminine woman look like. A feminine woman don't give a shit about your talking points. She don't give a shit about your feelings, as a matter of fact. Okay, she's actively at any point in time looking for opportunities to multiply. So if you're not bringing shit to the table, there's nothing to multiply. You're right. She brings nothing to the table except the essence, the beauty of the feminine energy. But then we're grooming a lot of quote unquote pick-me's. There's some of them that are good. There's some of them that you could hear in between that you're like, yeah, I could see that. I could see through all the way through that. We have to be careful. All right, so here this young ladies predict the future of this young man who sounds like a goddamn robot.
You're operating from a place of like computerized, like a woman just has a program in her back, and that's just like how she's gonna act. All women are gonna behave this way, and that is just absolutely wrong. You're never gonna meet a woman, I'm telling you. And if you do have one, she's miserable as hell right now. Miserable. Because you don't even know how to connect with women.
It's highly likely that she is correct. Now, there are exceptions to the rules, right? Of every rules, but it's highly likely. And I do remember seeing your headphones. I'm not sure if you are the one that you're going to receive this as an attack. I'm not sure who was talking, because as you can see, the screen I was looking at I was actually working, and I had the phone and I was listening, right? You can see that it's a phone that I was listening to. So I do remember, I don't know which one of them you were. I think you were the quiet one. You were the Durrell's partner, and you were a little bit more balanced than Durrell. Durrell was all over the place. It was basically out of control, right? He was basically, all his feminine energy came out, right? So I think you were his partner, and then you were trying to find the balance there, but it wasn't working too well. But I'm not sure if you were the one that actually spoke eventually and they really, really respected. There was another gentleman that spoke eventually that they really, really listened to it and they liked it. You may have been that person. Yes, I think that was you. But I know you were not the guy who was the robotic guy. I know for sure for that. But yeah, let's keep playing this.
You're sitting here regurgitating some bullshit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're not even trying to find out how to connect with a woman in real life. Y'all are like people I don't even want to get to know. It's just weird. That's all I'm saying.
That's what
do you even have a personality?
Can I talk?
Yes. Do you even have a personality? You're like so busy focused on what's wrong with women and how they hypergamous and trying to get the psychology down pat. You sound like a con artist, sir. You sound like a pickup artist.
Nah, yo,
Nah, yeah, I mean, nah. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that wasn't you, Ant. Hopefully that wasn't you, man. You know, but yeah, it was a shit show. You're absolutely right, and that's why we're reviewing it now. This was absolutely crazy, you know. So watch this one right here. Durrell. Now, Durrell is a guy. Durrell.
Yeah.
I follow Durrell. Let's be clear. I follow Durrell. You know, Durrell is the guy that keeps his foot on the manosphere neck, right? His energy is not, you know, doesn't really match mine that much, but I feel like he makes a lot of good points. You know, he makes a lot of good points. But he's also a young man, you know. I think he's admitted to that, you know, there's a long ways to go. But if you try to drag Durrell, he's dragging your ass. That's just, and that's the way. And funny enough, I saw a video where he was basically edifying Alicia. Like less than a week later, they were button heads. That's crazy, man. So that's that situation right there. But let me play this video for you. I do respect a lot of Durrell's standpoint in the manosphere space than a lot of the other gurus. Let me just say that right now, you know, so that everyone is clear on where I stand here. I do whatever manosphere is like right now. I can only touch them with a poll. I'm watching and I'm responding so that other people can have a space to come to and hear how real life works. Because I realize that they are a lot louder, and if one or two people can end up here and listen to what we're saying, maybe we can save a few people. So let me play this video for you. And this is him being called a simp for obvious reasons, right? It's very funny. It's usually the simps that are very quick to call people a simp. But let's listen.
Yeah.
No, it's you're not a real man if you can't have a conversation with a woman and just shut the fuck up and let her speak. And I don't need a response for that. But to Tawana's point,
yo,
when
you
the show
sound like a
first
fucking
started,
simp, man.
Yo,
Let me replay that. You need to hear that.
for simping.
Yeah.
No, it's you're not a real man if you can't have a conversation with a woman and just shut the fuck up and let her speak. And
If you can't have a real conversation with a woman, you're not a real man. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. I don't know what a real man. A man is a man, you know. But maybe a masculine man, maybe an alpha man. I don't know what the fuck. What kind of label should we give these days? I'm confused, right? But a man that needs to create a desirable result is definitely not the man that doesn't know how to have a conversation with a woman. Okay? That's definitely not that man right there, right? So if you're a man and you're not able to create results, just look at results. Just look at the kind of conversation you extract out of women. Yes, you're a spirit. You do extract certain energy out of them, right? Just look at that. Look at your result, and then you'll be able to determine if you're creating the kind of result you want or not, right?
I don't need a response for that. But to Tawana's point,
that's that dual energy. He doesn't need a response. But guess what that other guy is going to say? The number one simp in the room is going to call out the simps. That it works 100% of the time. Just watch it, right? Just listen to this really quick. You can't talk about a simp if it doesn't involve entitlement and expectations, right? The idea of expecting other men to pander to you, that's simp behavior, okay? That's simp behavior precisely right there, okay? At least that's a soy boy behavior, right? You should expect other men to hold you accountable if you're doing things wrong. I expect that, right? I get pushback because of the way I kind of come off a little bit as attacking men. And I'm okay with that because I need that, because there were times that I didn't have empathy as well, right?
Yo, you sound like a fucking simp, man.
Yo, man, you gotta let the brother finish,
This is
bro.
why you're never gonna have a girl. This is
Hold up, man. Let the brother finish. Can y'all let the brother finish, man?
I'm not about to go back and forth. I came up here to say what I said. You know, I'm solid like that. At the end of the day.
Yeah. So, I think, let me see. I think there may be one more clip here. Yeah, that's it.